Over the last decade, I got a lot of playtime from games long after exhausting their official content. Custom maps in StarCraft and Warcraft 3, alongside mods for Bethesda's older titles and Minecraft, helped to extend the already thorough and enjoyable gameplay into much larger experiences. Custom content in games has historically been a way for budding artists, programmers, and designers to cut their teeth on. Mods have also had a profound impact on the gaming landscape. Famously, the MOBA genre was a spin-off from the aeon of strife and defense of the ancient custom maps for StarCraft and Warcraft. Team Fortress and Counter-Strike were originally mods for Quake and Half-Life, respectively, and the Buildcraft and Industrial Craft mods have gone on to inspire Factorio and Satisfactory. I played around with the custom StarCraft maps, but never really got into the modding scene until I played Oblivion in 2011. Since then, I've been looking at making mods multiple times. Each time I've looked at the interfaces, the lack of documentation, and the creative limitations and said, not yet. Well, I've had it up to here with not yet, so later is now, and now I'm going to make a mod. Slay the Spire has received critical acclaim from a lot of people in 2019 with its roguelike deck builder mechanics and 20 levels of ascension per character to have hundreds of hours of gameplay in the base game. But the introduction of Mod the Spire opened the doors to even more content. I've gone ahead and looked into making a mod once for STS, but guess what? It didn't work. I set the project aside for a while and figured I'd get back to it. In this series, I want to document my process of figuring out how to make mods, and hopefully convince other not-yetters to start making mods now. Digging through my notes, I figured out how to set up my environment in a basic project. This is not meant to be a full tutorial, but it might help you get more than the GitHub wiki pages for Mod the Spire and base mod. First, you need Slay the Spire. Presumably you have that. Download the mods for Mod the Spire and base mod from the workshop. Then install the Java Development Kit 1.8 and IntelliJ. I'll leave these to you as well. A basic installation should do. Make a project folder somewhere you can get to easily. Mine's on my development hard drive, but putting it in your documents or desktop should work. Create a lib folder and a test mod folder here. Now things get tricky. Browse to your installation for Slay the Spire. You can do this by clicking the cog on the Steam entry in your library and navigating to Manage Browse Local Files. This opens up your installation directory. Copy the desktop-1.0.jar file to your project's lib folder that we just made. Don't remove it or you can't play the game. In your Steam installation, navigate up to Steam Apps, then go into Workshop and Content. Here are a bunch of folders with numbers on them. The more Steam Workshop compatible games you've downloaded, the more folders there are. Slay the Spire is app number 646570, as indicated in the Steam's store page URL for Slay the Spire. In that folder are the various mods you have downloaded. The top one is almost undoubtedly Mod the Spire, the mod all other mods need to run. Copy that jar file to your lib folder, then go back and look for base mod. It shouldn't be much farther down the list. If you want to use stslib, this is also the time to grab that jar file. Alright, that gets us the libraries we need to get started. Fire up IntelliJ and make a new project. Select Maven as the project type and Java 1.8 for the SDK. Name your project accordingly and choose the test mod folder we made earlier for the root directory. IntelliJ should now show a pom.xml file in the main editor window. Navigate to the example pom.xml, linked in the description, and copy the contents into your pom.xml in the editor. If it hasn't, Maven will now complain about needing to import project changes. The pom.xml is the project's settings, and Maven will not be happy when it knows it's working with outdated settings. Before importing changes, let's make some more edits. Change the group ID and artifact ID to the name of your mod. In this case, it's test mod, with a lowercase t. Then we can change the name and description. The next section is dependencies. This example pom.xml file contains dependency entries for Slay the Spire, Mod the Spire, and base mod. Conveniently, the system paths are already set up to look at our lib folder with the jar files in it. This project structure allows you to share the project without including the jar files. Distributing the desktop-1.0.jar file is illegal, and allows multiple projects to use the same reference files. If you know enough about changing this and you aren't happy with the structure, feel free to change it. Down in Build, change the final name to Test Mod. Then finally, at the bottom, we have the plugin execution, configuration, target, copy nest. Change examplemod.jar in both file strings to testmod.jar. This jar file is what we're hoping to make. Now, save and import the changes. Press Ctrl, Alt, Shift, and S to open the project structure. Check the modules, dependencies list, to ensure all 3 jar files are now visible. Let's add a little bit of boilerplate info and see if this thing builds before we get too deep into code. In src, source, main, resources, create a modthespire.json file and use the generic file option. Mod the Spire looks for this information to display in the mod launcher and the mod info screens. It's not strictly needed, but future you will thank you, as well as fans. We will need a mod ID, a name, the author list, a description, version for the mod, version for Slay the Spire you are building for, version of Mod the Spire we are building for, and a dependencies list. The version number for your mod is your arbitrary choice, but if you find a consistent, logical scheme for version numbers, it will be more obvious when players are using an outdated version and when major changes are made. The STS and MTS version numbers are determined by the version of the files you're using. How do you find the numbers? We'll look into that later, because I don't remember how I found them. Finally, under main, Java, create the testmod class in testmod.java. This must be the same as your project name, I think. Probably safe to keep it that way, at least. The base Mod Wiki has some great boilerplate code for this. Again, linked in the description. In fact, for the sake of brevity, let's copy the complete mod logic at the bottom of the page into our Java file and then rename the class to our class with refactor rename. Also, remove the package name at the top of the page. Now open up the right-hand bar and package the product. If you did things correctly, you should end up with a testmod.jar file in your target folder. Move this file into the mods folder in your STS installation, then fire up the mod launcher. Our test mod should now appear in the list of available mods. I ran into an issue where I needed to use the launcher directly instead of going through the Steam launcher, which may be caused by the location of our mod. Create a new profile for testing, activate base mod in our test mod only, and start the game. This is the part where most mod tutorials say, "Congratulations, you made a mod." Considering our package of data doesn't really do much, and what little it does, we ripped from someone else's code. No, we didn't make a mod. What we did do is demonstrate that our environment is now functional. We can actually start making the mod now. What kind of mod should we start with? Character mods are flashy and fun, but these involve creating new relics, mechanics, and cards. So let's break this down into simpler steps. For my next video, I'm going to try and make a simple relic mod and/or a simple card mod. I'm going to add one of these to the game. A single neutral relic or a single neutral card. If you'd like to try your own hand at this, then I suggest looking through the Mod the Spire and base mod wikis on GitHub, looking for mods that have public repositories so you can see what works and what doesn't, and getting involved in the modding channel on Slay the Spire's official Discord server. I'll be bringing you an update on this by the start of March. This video took longer than expected, so I can't commit to any certain schedule right now. All relevant links should be in the description. Let me know if I'm missing anything there, and I'll see what I can do to rectify the issue. Also, let me know if you like this video, subscribe to get the updates, and start a discussion in the comments to help each other out on this.